The biggest YouTuber in the world, MrBeast, just posted a video of him digging 100 wells in Africa. And I got to say, as an African myself, I'm not impressed because I am sick and tired of watching these palm-colored influencers using African villages as a stage for their white savior propaganda.
The internet is such a ridiculous place sometimes. The biggest YouTuber in the world, MrBeast, just built wells for people who don't have clean water in Africa, and somehow some people on the internet are mad about it. That's right, MrBeast used his massive resources to engage in an 8-month-long project through which he built 100 wells in Africa, which he says will provide clean drinking water to roughly 500,000 people in Kenya, Cameroon, Uganda, Zimbabwe, and Somalia. His efforts were greatly appreciated, as evidenced by the clips of people in the affected towns celebrating and thanking him profusely after showing just how polluted and unhealthy the drinking water they had access to really was. Now, thankfully, the response to MrBeast's video has mostly been positive. When I looked, the video had like 70 million views and most of the comments were positive. But the internet being the internet, some people had to find weirdo reasons to still get angry at this. One Twitter activist decried MrBeast's video as a form of, quote, disrespect to Africans, arguing that, quote, Africans do not need water donation. We ain't that poor and thirsty. He said, this is capitalism. He low-key want to use these countries for profit. A Kenyan political activist named Francis Gaitho said something similar in a fiery video rant that has gotten millions of views on X.
MrBeast, we no longer need philanthropy. We don't need you in exchange for views, because you are still going to recover all your money from the views, on the social media platforms. In exchange for views, now you're going to leave a lasting image about Kenya that as regards to our situation. No, we are not a poor country. We have a lot of resources. We have stuff.
And of course, some liberal media outlets like Yahoo News and CNN had to echo these nonsense criticisms and parrot them. Yahoo News tweeted that activists say MrBeast's actions shamed the Kenyan government and helped perpetuate the stereotype that Africa is dependent on handouts. So I wanted to discuss this all because there are a few arguments here that are just ridiculous and indicative of how the internet breaks people's brains. The first argument seems to be that Africa and these African countries don't need charity. They aren't poor and they don't need help. They do need help, and the people in MrBeast's video didn't have access to clean drinking water. I'm sure there's many reasons why that are complicated, but they didn't. And then he provided it to them. And that will save lives. It will prevent children from being sick, from missing school, from dying early, from contracting diseases. It will allow for the function of society and businesses and higher fertility, and just so many positive things will come out of it. If he wasn't actually doing something that was necessary or beneficial, then the people affected wouldn't be so profusely thanking him and celebrating his actions in the video. I also have to just laugh at the notion that MrBeast's actions shame the Kenyan government and that is somehow a bad thing. That's actually a good thing, because Kenya's government ranks as highly corrupt, and obviously they are failing their people if they don't even have clean drinking water. The other main critique of MrBeast seems to be that he's an evil capitalist who's going to make money off of this video. The horror, right? Oh my God, making money or profit. These are such evil things. But they never actually bother to explain who's harmed by that or what's wrong with it. Is MrBeast, in a way, monetizing charity? Sure, but that's a good thing. The people he helped are better off. Millions of viewers who enjoy watching his content are better off. And MrBeast personally is better off, making money that some of which he reinvests in his next charitable project, and some of which he keeps for himself. It's a win-win-win. It's a net positive for everyone involved. The only people who lose are random internet haters. Yeah, it's a form of capitalism, but it's one of the best forms of capitalism. It's more evidence of how free exchange can be a win for everyone involved. Yet, especially on the internet, some people are just inherently opposed to anything where people make money or profit in any way, as if those are inherently bad things, when in many ways, with some exceptions depending how it's done, they're actually good things. It is good to be financially successful. It is good to make money by providing a service or a product that a lot of other people like and benefit from. So why is MrBeast being demonized for doing exactly that? There was also a pretty gross racial element to the backlash against MrBeast, who is, yes, a white man. Many YouTube and commentators on X, Twitter, have commented and dubbed him a white savior. Overnight, this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure with a huge platform, and all of a sudden, he gets all of the attention, one activist told CNN. Yeah, well, maybe if you built 100 wells for people who need water, you'd get attention too. Some people on TikTok ran with this same, frankly, racist narrative and even decried MrBeast's palm-colored face and his white savior propaganda.
The biggest YouTuber in the world, MrBeast, just posted a video of him digging 100 wells in Africa. And I got to say, as an African myself, I'm not impressed because I am sick and tired of watching these palm-colored influencers using African villages as a stage for their white savior propaganda. Issues like poverty, disease, and bad drinking water are not exclusive to African regions. Flint, Michigan is a good example of an American city that got all three of those things. But MrBeast made the intentional choice to go to an African village to make a big show of his great humanitarianism. Why? Because Western society is so conditioned to thinking of the entire continent of Africa as being beneath them that they will see no problem with people like MrBeast exploiting the images of children for financial gain and for an ego boost. And I know in his heart he thinks he's doing the right thing, but with as big of a platform as he has, he's actually propagating imagery that says Western society is higher, African society is lower, and they need our help. And if history has told us anything, we know for a fact that, your help doesn't help.
This line of argument is so vile and just racist and divisive that frankly, I shouldn't even really engage with it. I don't know how to engage with it. It's like, how do you debate a member of the KKK? In the same vein, how do you debate a member of the woke KKK? But it should go without saying that if a black person did the exact same thing that MrBeast did, it wouldn't somehow be any more or less moral because the pigment of their skin would be different. It's still the same action. It still has the same consequences and benefits and costs for everyone involved. And many of these people castigating MrBeast from weirdo corners of the internet, what have they done to help African people? Really? What have you done other than just tweet silly things about a YouTuber who's actually using his platform for good? Thankfully, MrBeast doesn't seem to care about the backlash because on November 4th, in advance of this video's release, he tweeted, "I already know I'm going to get canceled because I uploaded a video helping people, and to be 100% clear, I don't care. I'm always going to use my channel to help people and try to inspire my audience to do the same." Good for you, MrBeast, and shame on all these weird people on the internet who just have to hate on things to hate on them. Alright guys, I'm Brad Polumbo, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in my next video. But if you want more of my content, check out my other recent videos and let me know what you think.